Hello, everyone. I'm Ti Dave, and I'm back with Ash. I don't know if you remember. Most of my dedicated viewers will remember. He did an interview a few months back, and he's back to do a follow up and tell us about some things that he's been doing that's helping him, and tell us what's going on since our last interview. Now, what I'm going to do is after I post this video, if you go to the comments, since for some reason they won't let me pin nothing in the description, no links in the description. So I'm going to pin in the comments his first interview. That way you can watch his first interview and catch the follow up after you watch that. So Ash, I'm glad that you're still here with us, and I'm glad that you're brave enough to come on here and tell us what's going on with you and some things you found that's been helping you.
Sure, David. Let me thank you again for providing me with this opportunity to connect with you guys again.
Oh yeah, and he's got I just talked to him the whole time. I have seen his face. He is a real person. He's got his face private for certain reasons, which everybody should understand. But I have seen his face, so I know some people ask me, why didn't he show his face? But I have seen his face, so I'm just clearing that up too. So Ash, if you want to go ahead and tell us what's happened since the last time we talked and what's been helping you and all that. I'll ask questions as we go.
Sure, David. Definitely, my harassment tactics and level of harassment have been exceedingly increased ever since the last meeting. They did not clearly like me doing the testimony, and even before, we had I've been writing to you for almost a week or two now. And ever since I've decided to give you another testimony, I've been seriously hit, directed energy weapons and harassment tactics. I met with fatal accident setups as well. So things have escalated. That definitely says me that I'm on the right track, trying to expose the program, which I'm glad to do. And the very first thing I would like to talk about is even prior to my overt targeting, there was infiltration, which I could recollect now. So, infiltration, especially to the colony I've lived for almost like 15 to 20 years, we had all the same residents. And just before, prior to my overt targeting during the covert phase, there were a lot of residences which were strategically being occupied, purchased, and there were some government people who were buying down the properties in the colony 3 to 4 years prior to my overt stage. And what they usually were doing in that phase is like they were getting closer to my family, like talk a lot and trying to extract the data. And the same infiltration was happening within my social circle, which now I'm aware of that there were a lot of people who were really, acting against my safety by sharing my data with someone else who's actually employing them. And
So
please go
when
ahead.
you say colony, could you explain to the viewers what you mean by that?
Absolutely. It's like a street which I've grew up on. Um, it's like a block of my residence, we can say. The
Uh-huh.
place I've been living back home. We have the owners of the house who were living with us and our neighbors. We had them for almost like 10 to 15 years, and they were all the same. Just before my targeting was made overt, like 3 to 4 years earlier to my overt phase, there was systematic occupation by the public servants and also the perpetrators. Like a whole block was strategically and periodically being occupied by these people before even I knew that I was targeted.
Wow. Uh, would you say was it did it went overt it went overt in America, didn't it? I mean in Chicago, right?
Yes.
And then now you're in Canada,
Hmm.
and I heard Canada's rough with the targeting. I've got a few friends, one I talk to regularly in Canada, and he says it's horrible in there.
Um, yes, I thought Canada was like a friendly place and nice people around, but I feel it is a bit soft in harassment as as I've experienced it to USA and India. By far, the worst of the harassment and torture I've experienced was back home in India.
I was trying to find something I found.
Mhm. Also, what I would like to add to this statement is the harassment is always designed about and surrounding the environment, like the type of people around there and the locality. It is all designed to blend in. So they cannot use something which doesn't blend in.
Do you mind if I play this video I found from 12 years ago from Canada? It's just a quick video. Uh, it,
Sure,
uh,
please.
it's called do you know what? Are you familiar with CSIS in Canada?
CSIS, is that an NGO?
It's like it's kind of like hold on, I'm gonna show you. Uh, okay, I'm gonna share the screen. It's kind of like Canada, Secret Service, something IS.
Oh,
Well,
yeah, I've
hold on.
heard
I'm
of
gonna show
that.
you this video I found. Let's see. They're entering a gray minivan. They're in the lobby, coming out. I see them. They're entering a gray minivan. I am a follower and a wallflower, and I'm good at it. I'm Andrea, and I'm a surveillant with the Canadian Security Intelligence Service. The target is a Caucasian female, about 5 feet 5, around 40 years of age, medium built, blonde hair, shoulder length. Wearing an ivory trench coat, black pants. I'm on Highway 20. Arrived at the airport at 22:34. She's leaving through door number 7. She was picked up by. Well, I might have to stop that because I don't. Hold on, let me see. I apologize about that. Let me see if they put any copyrights on this video with the music, because you know how they are with the. Okay, so it's. Well, surely they won't give me no thing with that music because there's no music in the thing. Okay. That was in a great meeting. Nico is leaving.
This is not her first time here. We have information that she has had prior contact with individuals known to the service. It's important that we understand her intentions for coming here last night.
Teamwork is the foundation of my job. We rely on each other to ensure our goals are met and our operations are successful. Target is coming out of the lobby with a blue bicycle. My workday involves physically following a target or person of interest without he or she knowing that they are being observed. We just stopped on Hunter Street. We're jumping off Fossway. Surveillance is not for everyone. It is not a 9 to 5 job. I need an update. The target is going north on Canyon. Okay, I see her. It takes patience, flexibility, and common sense to complete often long, complex operations that are mandated by CSIS and Canadian law. And going into the night home. We have new info. She's meeting someone on Saint Alexandre between Saint Antoine. It takes natural ability and training to be able to blend into the background. That is on your location. She's getting off Square Victoria. My work is unique and exciting. It has stretches of long idle moments and bursts of adrenaline in between. I'm on standby.
She's coming out.
The surveillance greatest skill is to be attentive to detail. Even the most seemingly insignificant thing can make or break a CSIS investigation. She's approaching a blue vehicle. She's dropping off her bag. Surveillance work helps CSIS maintain its important role of keeping Canada safe for all of us.
That's an ad. That's an ad for Canadian Security Intelligence Service, 12 years ago.
Wow, that's a very decent way to target
Yeah, it says
people.
physical surveillance unit is primarily responsible for tactical intelligence collections on behalf of operational sections in support of security and foreign intelligence programs. It provides support for operational and administrative investigations by covertly observing the movements and activities of a designated target. That's what I found that video on Canada when I was going down this thing. This perp had supposedly admitted that he was hired, and I was going down this rabbit hole trying to dig because he said he used a certain weapon, and they taught him how to connect it to an app. Anyway, it was a dead end. I couldn't find the weapon when I Googled it. Well, I didn't Google it. I don't use Google, but I use Brave search engine, Yandex, stuff like that, and couldn't find nothing of the weapon he was talking about. So, I figured it wasn't, since I couldn't fact check it, I didn't post it, but I did find that video along with it. Because he claims that video right there was played to him when he went to his orientation to be a stalker.
Okay. Wow. Yeah. Like I said, it's a very decent way to get people into involving. They people actually think they are doing something patriotic and to secure the neighborhood or even the country. But what's happening here is like blatant invasion of privacy, abuse of human rights, corruption. This thing is say it's very complex even to get if get an individual into understanding or even an interest to think about it before dismissing like stop this craziness or whatever. The whole thing is designed like that.
Yeah, and I'm gonna look on that site for more different videos. I didn't even think to do that on the Canadian Security Intelligence Service site because they got more videos posted. They got one video talking about the Five Eyes, which I think is a part of this behind the scenes too. Um, so are you So you said, could you talk about the drowsiness that they're doing while you're driving?
Yeah, so I'm fortunate to find work, um, and my work needs a lot of driving, a lot of commute through the city, which is almost like on the way to downtown, which is almost busy. And what I've experienced for the past few months also coincides, and I could correlate it with my past experiences when I was driving back home in India, and also when I've driven in US after my overt targeting. Whenever I get onto the road, there's a convoy of vehicles which are usually trying to box me in. I've, I don't like it when people are trying to. I mean, nobody likes it when people are intentionally boxing you in. Do not You do not have the free choice to go wherever you want. So what I did constantly was to try to get out of whatever the box they are trying to put me in. And I would like to give you the very first experiences which I've received was whenever I was trying to get out of the box, they started getting physical, like almost getting into a soft collision because back home in India, soft collisions doesn't really matter as long as you have like a serious damage to your vehicle. And I usually I ride a old bike of mine, so I didn't really care about its damage. So what they were doing is like giving me a warning that don't try to get out of the box. You're not getting out of it. And if you're trying to get out of the box, we would stage an accident. And I've encountered a lot of staged accidents. That is when I realized that, okay, they're not liking it when I'm trying to get out of the box. And I've started deep diving into what's actually happening when I'm boxed in. Um, this is an overview of experiences backed by research of my own for 4 years on road. Whenever I'm boxed in a convoy or surrounded by the perp vehicles, my ability, cognitive functions, and cognitive abilities are being overridden and overtaken, and they were able to manipulate me with some sort of weaponry equipment around. And they almost got me into a zombie state where I wasn't feeling myself anymore. What happens is like if they wanted me to slow down, I would be in a zombie state doing 35, although the speed limit is 50, and I would only realize it after like a couple of minutes or couple of 10 seconds or 20 seconds later, and then I've realized that okay, I'm being hit. This is not good for me, and they were able to get me into thinking that okay, it was my mistake that I am absent during my driving, but I was actually being hit with weapons. And whenever I get yawns or drowsiness induced at the same exact spot, same exact time on my regular transit, which happens during Monday to Friday, some or the other accident staging or a setup is placed. And all of these only worked in the initial stages when I was not really aware of myself and my emotion being altered or taken over. Once I've started gaining awareness over my consciousness and about what's really happening, they stopped negating. So they wanted me to believe or at least be afraid that I may hit someone because my cognitive functions are being like overridden. Or maybe even they try to scare me using staging accidents that, okay, it's not really safe for me to like overcome or challenge their whatever the tactics they are doing. But every time I've had a drowsiness induced, it was always the technology being taken over, especially knocking out my senses and my cognitive functions.
Right. And I'm gonna send you a video because I just looked it up. I've done this video, excellent video, from 1 year ago. It's called "How They Set Up Cars with the one headlight and other tactics," and it's all about car tactics and how they use them. So I'm gonna send that to you in an email, if you want.
Sure. I think I've yes.
You may have seen it already.
Although I wouldn't have seen, I would have definitely experienced being a targeted or a targeted survivor. So, because our experiences can really tell a lot. But what at least is happening with me is like whenever I'm out, there's like a whole web of people around us, and they are being instructed or they are getting the guidelines on which places to occupy and what activities to do. And I've started noticing the perps around me, and I have seen them communicating on a call. And most of the people or perps around you, they're almost like in a call. Someone is
Right.
guiding them, and there is an authority which is giving them instructions. And I just wanted to test the level of command or even the approach they would have. And what I've done is like I started being spontaneous. So I would, if I wanted to do this, I would do that. If I wanted to take a left, I would I would take a right. And I've started doing things like this. And when I'm usually going to places which I've never been before or don't really go, the places were natural. They had normal people, and the streets did not seem overcrowded. Everything was going fine. And that is when I come to an understanding that I am being placed in the center of a web they are trying to create around me wherever and whenever I'm going. And whatever the data which was gathered about me in the past, that is giving the directions and all the setup positions to the perps. Because if I'm taking a route or a place which I've never been before, that is all organic. Like I could find the natural and real life there. But when I'm going and sticking to my normal routines, that is when I'm noticed that okay, this is all being set up. So I am pretty much I've pretty much come to a conclusion that the places are being preoccupied, and whatever the data is being collected against me and upon me, that is helping them, like occupying the places and getting the people around us. And the question I asked myself is if normal people are even watching this, they would know that something's wrong with the neighborhood. Like the neighborhood's not really crowded like this. Like at least this is something not natural. If you're living in a neighborhood and you grew up there, you would know, hey man, what's this? This is something odd going on. And that is when it made sense to me that before even carrying out such acts, they would get the public involvement. Because when my targeting was made overt, I have been to three different countries within a span of 20 days because I didn't know where
And
to
your
go.
and your targeting never stopped, did it?
No, it never stopped. But I found some. No, it never stopped. It never stopped. To be honest, not even on the airplane. They were still able to,
Oh yeah.
physical assaults on the airplane. And the most funny part is, I knew the authority or the persons operating behind this program definitely has power more than a government because it's not really possible to overcrowd an airport, right? Especially at the terminal, because you got to have a ticket and you got to have a boarding pass. You can't just overcrowd an airport and make try to make it look natural, right?
Right.
That is when I've understood that okay, whoever is orchestrating it, there's no way that like 20, 30, or 40 or hundreds of people are not going to buy a plane ticket and get a boarding pass just to stalk you. They're
Right.
just
Well, when you
getting.
go in an airport,
Mhm.
they have something called the FAST program. And I was going to do a video on it. I forgot what it stands for.
Like the
But
TSA pre-approved.
no, what it does is, I looked it up. This dude told me about it. I looked it up, and it's actually a program. It's called the FAST program. That came out of Operation Chaos, if I'm not mistaken. It reads it when you walk in the airport and go through one of the machines or whatever, it reads your emotional state. So, of course, if you're a target and you walk through there and your emotional state is nervous or whatever, then what happens is if your emotional state's nervous or they think you're a threat or may cause harm or somebody to be watched, they alert people all around the airport. So then the airport is watching you. They are
Mhm.
following you. You see what I'm saying? It's a
Okay.
real program in the airport. So of course the TI coming through there is going to be nervous and going to set that sensor off automatically, which makes it worse on him. I experienced harassment at airports myself and always wondered how that works. And that's what I've been. My research has took me down that these airports have something that reads your emotional state, and they can tell if a person um, is nervous or and got a fearful emotional state or whatever kind of emotional state it is. And if they set that off, then they're to be watched, and they set people to watch and follow them. And I've even been stalked on planes too. I don't know about you, but heavily messed with on planes. Like the whole plane had been told something about me. I don't know if you've experienced that.
I did, Rob. Sorry, Dave. Let me ask you a quick question. I know it might sound a bit out of box, but I've personally felt that whatever the plane or bus I'm traveling in, at least 60 to 70% of the people around are perps. So, what can be the odds that whatever the plane you're going in, the entire section being preoccupied with perps? And I'm very sure about my buses being preoccupied by the perps because I've caught them red handed when I was trying to make a search for the buses. There was a bus right in front of me, but it was never showing up on my Google searches when I was trying to make a transit. That is when I've understood that okay, my phone's already compromised. They are trying to, you know, feed in whatever they want, so everything looks natural. But this is not the bus usual and other people take. And I've noticed that every bus I'm taking nowadays is like arranged by them. I'm not traveling with the normal citizens or general population, but only with the perps.
Right. See, according to documents published by the Department of Homeland Security, FAST is a minority report style initiative that seeks to determining the probability that an individual who is not suspected of any crime might commit a future criminal act. Under the FAST program, the DHS will collect and retain of a mix of physiological and behavioral signals from individuals as they engage in daily activities. It's funded by S&T's Homeland Security Advanced Research Projects Agency and managed by S&T's Human Factors Behavioral Scientists. It's designed to allow the agency to capture biological and behavioral information from subjects. According to 2008 privacy impact assessment prepared by the agency, the DHS intends to monitor and collect data, including video images, audio recordings, cardiovascular signals, pheromones, and electrodermal activity and respiratory measurements. Now, the crazy thing is about this program, it started in airports. So now, with all these cameras and stuff being installed everywhere, these cameras are going to be able to do the same thing the airport fast program does. And I think they've already been doing it for years. They haven't announced it.
That makes complete sense and a valid understanding on my situation, especially in the airports. Yeah, when you're flagged as a potential threat or you know, it is valid or it can be a valid reason for people around you if they are instructed to whatever the tasks they were given.
Yeah, and I'm going to be trying to do a video on this. I got I'm so sidetracked when I was trying to do this, research this and do the proper information on it. But now that you brought this up, I will be doing a video on this soon because I feel like it's what's going on everywhere. And then once you set off that emotional thing, they send alerts out. Well, this person needs to be watched, blah, blah, blah. Well, if you're a target, you're already watched. But I'm just saying, like, if you go in an airport, that just gives them extra reason to watch you.
Yes, exactly. And speaking of cameras, Dave, I've recently seen whenever I'm on the road, I've seen cars with very extra bright lights. like literally trying to get their attention and focus on me. Like a lot. It's been happening for almost like like a long time. And I was just curious, like, how are these people able to orchestrate or carry on these operations? Although I know they're all on call, like they're taking commands whenever they are carrying out an act. So let's just assume I'm traveling in a straight line and straight lane, and there are almost like three cars behind me and four cars behind me, and in front of me. What they usually do is like as if someone had instructed them to when to take a right and when to take a left and when to slow me down. It was happening a lot, like people were doing it for a purpose, and I've seen that they were on call and following orders and taking instructions. That led me to thinking, if a person is giving them instructions, they should be having eyes on the street, eyes on the vehicle I'm traveling in, basically eyes on everywhere. And I was curious if what are the odds that these vehicles, whichever the perps are driving, being installed with lights and cameras, which are relaying or giving the pictures to the ones in the command center or whatever fusion centers or whoever is operating the whole thing. And I've read in the past a document which I found online that the vehicles have cameras, and whenever you're in a blank or a dark zone and you're not visible to the outside world, what they do is like they specially place them in a strategic way, so they relay your picture, like they relay whatever you're doing. And I'm glad that we talked about it today, because Dave, the video you showed me about the vehicles,
You,
surveillance vehicles being
you want me to
equipped.
show the video and read what the dude that wrote that book,
Yes,
Transhuman
please.
Genocide, put about this video?
Yes, please. I think it'll
Okay.
be a great benefit.
Yeah, this dude, he wrote Transhuman Genocide, Innocent Enemy at the Gate. I have the book. Somebody blessed me with it, and I'm planning on reading it sometime online. But he posted this video, and I'm gonna read what he wrote with it while the video's playing, and I'm gonna enlarge it to full screen so you can see the. Okay. And it says, watch full screen, weaponized headlights in action. Every new smart car with a LED dash display has been weaponized and is equipped with GPS, tracking and targeting components, sensors and cameras surveilling every angle, feeding real-time intel to Hive headquarters via 5G. Once a targeted individual is within range, the smart car automatically begins to target their victims, with gang stalkers positioning themselves in the tailgating position for maximum effect. Of course, with Teslas, there's no need for a driver to perform the tailgating anymore. Weaponized LED lights can cause a medical emergency and even kill in mere seconds once the tailgater opens fire with its energy weapon system. No noise, no bullet holes, no evidence of an attack, yet this is what the NASA war documents are really about. LED weapon systems and use extreme ultraviolet for maximum effect. Extreme ultraviolet is sub-X-ray and while legal is extremely lethal in weaponized form and difficult to block with conventional shielding. And let me play it again. You can see the power of them headlights right there. And if you know anything about, I had an experience with LED lights. So where we eat dinner is and I'll play it one more time. Where we eat dinner is there's a chandelier and there was four LED lights, and I could only sit down for like 5 minutes at a time without sweating and getting hot and just being nauseated and not being able to eat my supper. So we found some incandescent bulbs and replaced the LED bulbs above the table where we sit down and eat. Now, ever since we replaced the incandescent bulbs, the LED bulbs, the incandescent bulbs, I can sit down and eat at the table now. Whereas before, I wouldn't last 5 minutes, and I would start burning, getting nausea. I had to take nausea medicine, put the ice cap on my head to try to make it through supper, and the attacks have stopped in under the dinner table since I put the incandescent bulbs into the chandelier. So these LED lights is what I'm saying, headlights or whatever, they can be hooked up. If you read the box on LED lights, they can be hooked up to Bluetooth or whatever. They're weaponized if they want them to.
Yes, so there's a real possibility to induce dizziness, headaches, and whatever they want to using the flickering of the LED bulbs.
So are they brightening you too on the road to
Yes, a
blind you
lot.
and try to cause you accidents?
Yes.
Wow.
I whatever you showed on the video, it completely makes sense to me right now because I was under the doubt that how are they getting the eyes and why are they even brightening it in the first place? It should either be to cause some kind of like you said, LED effects, which are detrimental to a target, and there are few instances like there is no reason for them to do so. Of course, that is when I've come to an understanding that maybe the vehicles are being equipped with surveillance care, and that is a very good question. And see, like this makes it obvious that whatever the vehicular convoy with extra bright lights, what do you think? Are they really owned by people or are they like state sponsored? Because you don't
Well,
see. Can
okay.
you hear me there?
Yeah, I can now.
Okay. So, do you think whatever the convoy they are using against the target, um, with the extra bright lights, are owned by the state or like they belong to an individual?
I was reading this thing about LED lights being weaponized by law enforcement. Uh,
Mhm.
so do you think they're trying to cause you an accident?
Oh yeah, I've been.
So are you perfectly awake before you get that yawn and then you start getting really, really drowsy all of a sudden?
Um, so what they're doing is like I started gaining a lot of self-awareness and consciousness of the situation, so that if they're trying to do anything, or especially if they were trying to harm me, my, what do I call it, instincts, I'm trying to rely on my instincts. Like whenever I'm getting a yawn, I get into a very relaxed state, and they would set up a staged accident, or they would let a jaywalker walk by. So I get into a shock. Whatever fed them is like, instead of getting shocked like that, I tried to calm myself down and see what's the actual intent behind it. The actual intent was not to kill me or get into a stage like get into an accident, but the actual intent was my emotional response. And what I'm currently working on is like no matter the odds, what can be the least that happen? Like, are they going to kill me? Well, I'm not alive ever since I'm targeted. So I just stopped giving a damn about my life, and I just go with the flow. And then the staged accidents have reduced. I've had 3 staged accidents in a single day. The very first one, it was, yeah, it got me. It almost got me. And from the second or third one, I started thinking the the worst part going to have the worst part is like I could lose my life, but what I'm leading as a target isn't even a life, so why should I even care? And that's the mentality I've grew up with, and I've induced in it. And once I've started using that mentality, the staged accidents stop making sense. So I can strongly say that the intent is not to kill you. If they want, they could. That's obvious. And The actual intent is to drive you into situations and make you into belief, to make you scared, so they could use your emotional responses against you sometime in the future. And yeah.
So do you think they might be trying to get you, when you say emotional response, are you talking like make you angry and make you go in a road rage?
Oh yeah, of course. So
Right.
speaking of it, that's a very good question. What they would usually do is like they let a jaywalker cross my path when I was in a good speeding zone, or there would be people driving very close to the lane line. They would do it like four or five to six times in a row, and they would get me into that stage where I get like angry or frustrated, and then they would try to set me up using a pedestrian who comes up or comes into the crossing from a blind spot, dressing in a camouflage. That is when I've understood that, okay, these people are trying to set me up. So they frustrate you until you get into a situation that you lash out. I think
Right.
we've
Because
spoken about it in our first conversation as well. But these lash outs I've been experiencing right now are a bit above, like a bit advanced, I must say.
turn. I'm I'm going down this rabbit hole of this LED stuff trying to find something just but I couldn't find it. But yeah, so you've been trying to practice spontaneity and not letting your emotions get the best of you. Because once you snap on somebody and go in a road rage incident, then you got court to deal with, then you got jail time to deal with, and then they win.
Yes, exactly. They've already taken away my credibility because I don't have a decent living today because of whatever the targeting has been happening. But
Right,
the
and you got a
courts,
whole college degree and can't get a job.
yeah, what the courts and what the police sees, what do you do now? Well, I'm just trying to, make up my living by getting the bare minimum. And what did you graduate on? That's not even a question. The moment you say them that you are making the bare minimum, that's that's how the society is. Like, they judge you and grade you based on what you're driving and what you're making. And these two things are being taken away for being targeted. That's how they attack us. They attack our credibility, they attack our finances, they basically attack us in all the angles possible so they can get away with the crime.
Right. Um, back to the spontaneity. Have you ever like been on the phone with friends and knew everybody was listening and been like, all right, I'm gonna talk to you later. I'm fixing to go here and told the wrong place to your friends and then went somewhere else and tried that? Like I used to
Um,
do it. It used to work for me sometimes. When I
mhm.
did that, I would be like, yeah, I'm fixing to go, to Arby's to get something to eat, and then I would go to McDonald's. Or
Yes, Dave. Good that you've brought this. I tried doing these things a lot. Like, I have initially been able to fool people out of it, and it worked actually because the priority of what information they get, the priority is always given to the ones you verbally speak out. That is when they shifted their priority on me towards what I'm thinking. So they're reading my mind constantly right now. Like, once they've come to a conclusion that I am playing tricks with them, they started reading my mind instantaneously. My mind is right, like constantly right now, like every day. They just okay. If I'm thinking about something right now, like I wanted to buy this jacket or something, the very few minutes later, I see a person like walking by wearing the same exact jacket or same exact shoe. They're giving me like demonstrations, like constantly that my mind is being read.
uh-huh.
But yeah, like verbally whatever you speak to the people, and I'm sure they must be having an interface to give their feedback in. Yeah, the priority is always about verbal statements, because during the covert phase of harassment, whatever the fears I discussed with my friends, they are the fears which are currently being used in my program dreams. Like snakes are put into my dreams, like I am lying between, laying between like 10 or 20 snakes in one dream, and then in another dream I get shot in the head, and in another dream they try some demons and whatever they want to put us in. These are like very much inception based dreams I'm experiencing currently. Like I get like 3 to 4 episodes in a night, like, and then I have to deal with my usual day, and then when I begin my day, the harassment also takes over the same concept. If the concept is about the fear, that is the same thing on the road as well. Like people, bullies, I must say, they try to invade your personal space, acting in a very weird and provoking manner, just to make you, get into that state which you were being programmed last night in the dreams.
Right. And are these dreams like where they're so intense you're glad you woke up?
Yeah, these are very intense
You know,
scenes.
you have
And
them dreams and something's going on and you're like, and you think it's over like for real life, and then you wake up and you're like, wow, I'm glad that was
yeah,
just a
yeah, pretty
dream.
much every day, pretty much every day,
Wow.
every day. And
The dream
I've
manipulation.
Mhm.
So have you ever noticed like your emotional state will go from one end to the other, like you just get angry and stuff for no reason. You realize, dang, I wouldn't even didn't have no reason, and you just go on these rants for like 2 or 3 hours, mad at everybody, and then you don't notice it until you snap out of it. I've experienced that before. Uh, that's why I'm
Yes,
asking.
yes, I did experience a lot of these things in the initial stages where I was not much aware of what was happening. And sadly, I got into a lot of fights with my family, my mother, and then my brother. And I've seen them behave in weird ways. And when I've seen that, the Wi-Fi router was actually blinking in red light. Red light blinking on my Wi-Fi router says there is no network. But when this red light is blinking and I could still get data on my phone, that is when I've realized that okay, this is being induced upon my family.
Right.
And what I've done is like I can't. My family would get worried again if I say them that you guys are all being harassed, and whatever pain and suffering you are experiencing today is all induced. It would take a heavy toll on them. Like they would, or they could be manipulated into thinking that I might be, or even use the mental health propaganda against me. Once I've known that it is being weaponized against me, I've stopped giving them any kind of input or even talk about these things, because I've come to a conclusion that it's really hard to explain to people. Although you take and get them to a point of agreement, they could simply be manipulated and think the other way. They could be manipulated. I've seen it with my family, with my friends, and a lot of people on a constant basis. Like, yeah, sudden provocations and sudden invoking of emotions were especially working, at least with me, when I was not aware of the technology. Once I've become aware, and I started gaining more control over my senses and my body by using by being spiritual, by working out, playing, anything that gives me or enzymes which are really constructing my body, or at least detoxify my body. I'm trying to get better. I know whenever I'm trying to do this, which are really productive for my body and escape the programming. The intensity of the food poisoning, gases, and intensity of the sleep programming increases. So it's like they got a volume up and down button, like a switch. They could always, turn it up or turn it down. Like, yeah, I've I'm seeing it currently. Like, if I'm battling a thing and get over it for like 6 to 8 months or even a year, and then get better at it, that is when there is a drastic increase in the tactics of the harassment.
Right. And then you did tell me that you've been forcing yourself to exercise. How's that been working? Has it been helping?
Exercise is doing wonders because, firstly, yeah, I work from 8:30 to 5:30. I get like, I am usually in a state that, with all this harassment, and I'm very irritated. And the moment I get into the gym, they start doing the same tactics. Like if I'm working on lat machine or doing my push day, I see a lot of people doing the push day. Like they would simply sit on the machine, do nothing, and try to irritate me. That's it. They're not, they occupy everything, and they wouldn't really give you an opportunity. But once I started exercising, I feel a lot better. Like I can literally flush out whatever the toxins they've put in my body, like mentally and physically. And I'm a new person. Like I feel a lot energetic, and I feel a lot healthy, and my wiring, and I mean, like the wiring in the brain, I think it's getting better, and I could sleep better after having a workout. And even when I'm not even working out for a 1 day or two, I'm getting back where they are getting the upper hand. Like exercise is definitely helping me, like 120%. I think every day I should definitely try doing things which are active and physically benefiting, because with the physical benefits, there are also ways to rewire your brain thought structure, and you could also get enzymes which are really helpful to your body, and they can literally make the program and the programming ineffective. I've personally
Right.
experienced it. I know it's not an
That's
easy
mine
thing.
too. Like that's why it's important. We got even if you don't feel like it, to force yourself to exercise.
I am forcing myself to exercise because what they get me into a drowsy state. They've tried putting me into drowsy state. They tried getting the motivation out of me. They tried overcrowding the gym. They tried intimidating me in the gym. They're still trying it. It's the third month I'm hitting the gym continuously. They're doing the everything that could stop me from working out. And I could easily say and sense the things which are benefiting me when there is like a increased harassment. That is when I would know that, okay, I'm doing something good for myself, and that's what I have to do. So whenever there is a increased and hyped up harassment, I know that I'm doing something good, and I keep doing the same things.
Right. Because the whole goal is to make you stop doing whatever you're doing.
Yes.
Um, and they definitely don't want you exercising or doing anything productive like that. They want to keep you in that mind state, oh, I'm too tired to exercise. So that's what I found as well, is if I force myself to do push-ups or force myself to exercise, it ends up feeling a lot better in the end. Now, when you're being attacked, you said your attacks have increased. What are you experiencing when they're hitting you with these weapons?
Um, Surprisingly, I've never had visible burns of coming out of microwaves. I was recently hit in a public transport. Um, I don't know what that thing was. It was causing a sting-like sensation on my feet, and when I come home and I see it, I have like a burn, visibly burn mark on my skin. And that is when I've understood that okay, I'm being hit with that. And apart from that, I get like a racing heartbeat, like a heartbeat which is completely out of control, and they could take my breath away like 10 times in a minute, like a hiccup, how inconvenient a hiccup could be to you. In the same way, they could literally stop my breath, like the one
Wow.
expression you give when you are, odd or surprised, right? I they give it to me continuously, and I have been having this weird. I don't know how is it possible, but I don't hear a audible voice in my ear, but in my head, I could literally sense the voice or the sound of it, but it's not like audible. And I get like a very serious beam projected right in front of, right between my eyes. Like every time that beam is projected onto me, that is when there are drastic changes in my mood. And that is also the same beam which I get whenever I close my eyes, like doing a prayer or going to bed. That is when that beam hits me harder, and the very next few moments are not really pleasant. Like they are definitely, carrying some overwriting frequencies or overwriting commands to my brain. That is what I feel like, and I'm trying to recollect, but I'm being hit with a lot of things. I get like severe sudden headaches whenever I'm boxed in a convoy. And the moment I escape and do anything to get out of the convoy, I feel relief. Like I know it feels like the mental electric shock they used to give to the patients back then,
Yeah.
like it almost feels like that, except for the fact that these are all wireless frequencies. I get those wireless shocks and effects. It's very very hard for me to go on a daily basis, and I'm not really confident or sure how long my body can take it, because it's a lot. I mean, my body, although I'm mentally prepared and supportive, um, my physical body, I've been noticing that it's having detrimental effects because of it's almost like a fifth year of my hitting with these weapons, although the intensity have drastically escalated since our last conversation. I'm having like a yeah, I'm getting like even complex and even advanced weaponry used against me, like the microwave burns, the muzzle twitches, and racing heart. Yeah, a lot of them.
Do you
A
ever
lot of
get a feeling like a whirling, spinning fever, feeling like your equilibrium's off, like your balance
oh
is off, kind of, you know what I'm talking about?
yes, I do.
Yeah.
Especially
With
when I'm on.
along with like a high-pitched ringing or pressure in your ears, like you're going up in a
Yes,
plane.
yes, I do. I did. The equilibrium, losing my balance and equilibrium, that happens constantly, especially when I'm standing in a bus stop or when I was trying to play cricket. I play a sport, professional sport of cricket. It's very similar to baseball for people who don't know. They've been very evil to take away the sport I love. I love for my entirety of life. So they were able to manipulate me into getting out. It's like getting three strikes in baseball. So they were able to take over my physical connectivity, and pretty much they could do. They demonstrated it very clearly. They were able to do anything with my body.
Right. Uh, Well, yeah, I don't know if you've seen the video of what happened on October 8th that James Gleason attacked his neighbor because he said the neighbor had been torturing him 5 years with direct energy weapons.
Hmm.
I just want to let anybody know out there who's going through this and getting them ideas, it's not the answer because now, he's sitting in a cell and he's out of the way and everything, if they did ever make a smear campaign about him being a violent person or a dangerous person, it just proved their smear campaign to be true, which is all that happens if a TI acts out in violence. I'm not saying if somebody comes and uh, like hits you or is trying to physically kill you, which I understand direct energy weapons are physically killing you, but it's they see somebody physically trying to kill you as self-defense. When you try to do that, they act like they don't know what direct energy weapons are when you tell. So it's not the right answer. Um, and the way Duncan talks about is he says like when they done the the testing on the Manchurian candidate weapon, that it only worked in one in so many people it worked for. Like it would not work most of the time on people. Where they make you a Manchurian candidate, the technology was not effective on most people, is what it said uh, in Project Soul Catcher. So uh, I just you said you were being remote controlled. They were trying to uh, make you emotionally, make you lash out emotionally, and I'm glad that you're strong enough not to. Uh, Have you came across anything else that's helping you? You found that's helping you so far? You've named spontaneity, exercise, getting yourself together and calming down when you find out the pressure in your emotional state. Do you have any more other tips that's been helping you since we
Yes, I
last
do.
talked?
For some reason, my I'm not on social networking sites anymore. The only reels I watch or the reels I get is on YouTube, which are very rare. Um, I get a lot of food related, junk food related reels, and whenever I'm having fast foods, sugar items, pop, and anything like a cool drink with a lot of sugar, it doesn't. It is actually aiding with whatever the programming they're doing. It's not really. Yeah, when I'm eating clean for a week or two, oh, I it was far better. But even having a fast food for once, it is totally complementing with the harassment and torture. So eating clean is definitely helping me, but I we grew up in a world like, I mean, it's like I would still love to have fast foods because that had become like a craving. I do that once in a while, although I am aware that harassment and torture will be more after having it, but that is a once in a while thing I would do. But eating clean is definitely helping, especially hydrating ourselves. Hydration is the key, because a lot of hydration usually flushes out toxins from our body.
Right. Yeah, hydration is very important. I mean, especially they say one of the best times is when you first wake up in the morning on an empty stomach to down a glass of water, and it helps jumpstart your body and flush the toxins that gather down there at night out.
Especially warm water. Yeah, it really boosts and starts up our metabolism.
Right. Well, is there anything else you have to share with us?
Yeah, Deva. So I have been trying to gain a good control on myself, and I've encountered a gas effect recently. Like I was completely aware that it was a gas being used upon me, and I've noted it down. I took the time to notice and remember how longer does the gas effect influence my body. I would like to say that it stayed for almost 3 complete days.
Wow.
So although I try anything which had been helping me in the past, um, the gas effects still lasted for 3 days. So the most efficient way one could get hold of a target was a gassing effect, which lasted for 3 days. And food poisoning usually wears out in a day or two.
Do you have any idea how they're getting this gas into you?
Yeah, I mean,
Food
I've
or are they
oh no, the gases are usually, they are they plan it in a space, at least for me, when it would be a dark corner, and they would usually spray it in the air like an aerosol. And when only after walking through it and inhaling sufficient amount, I would notice and come to a understanding that that was gas. And if
right?
I try to obstruct or not inhale, they would then get me a forced breathe, like a bigger breathe. They would do that and make me inhale a lot of fume. So far, that is the most devastating effect. Like gas is really, you never know what effects the gas could induce on you, but yeah, gas has been the most detrimental thing to handle.
Right.
Food poisoning, I could literally say. I stay in a shared accommodation, so we have a common refrigerator. So I know the people I live with are perps, so they usually, you know, cross contaminate and do anything. But when I was in India, we lived in our own home. They try to hijack the grocery, like whatever the things you buy, right? I come from an Indian background. We use a tomato and onion almost in every day, everything we eat. So those are the things usually poison. So based upon your behavior and your requirements, they sneak in these food poison. But most of the food poisoning usually happens when I order in. Like if I'm ordering with a DoorDash or an Uber Eats, that is when I feel the sickest of symptoms. Like I know the food is being poisoned, but I would eat it anyway because instead of starving, I got to eat something.
Right. Wow. Um, have you actually seen the gas in the air?
No, but I could, smell it. It's
Oh
very.
yeah, I believe you. I was just wondering, like, because when I first started using that stun gun EMP thing, I woke
Mhm.
up one night and the whole it looked like when it's thick fog outside, the whole downstairs looked like that. And I was like, what in the world? So I'm walking through literally fog. So the first thing I did was check for a fire. And there was no fire. I checked everywhere, and then I looked online to see if it was possible it could be foggy in the house, but there was no fog outside, so it said it wasn't possible. So I'm assuming something was sprayed, you know.
Mhm.
But I'm talking about it was so thick in here, it looked like the house was on fire. Like I woke up, and I'm like, wow. And yeah, I forgot what I was told that how they done it or what Andrew explained to me what was going on. But so I was just wondering if you actually seen the stuff or not. Um, do you
I
know
haven't.
what? Did it have a sweet kind of smell to it?
No, it's very pungent. I've had
Okay.
like experiences of 3 to 4 kinds of gases. One gas is very stinky, like the one that would come out of a drain, and the other gas is very pungent. And I must warn TIs that there are also gases which have no kind of they are very pleasing and pleasant to smell, but they do have effects.
Right. Um, and one thing I seen on this thing I was reading about this about direct energy weapons, it says right here, hold on. Let's see if I can read it. I got it right here. It says the overall objective of this project, phase one, two, and three, is to develop, fabricate, and test a novel, modular human test surrogate target consisting of a human head, neck, torso that can be used to evaluate non-lethal weapons and validate software input for the JNLWPHEMAP software. The CFDRC and APL team measures blast overpressure, kinetic blunt impact, direct energy, sound, light, laser, electromagnetic fields, radio frequencies, thermal energy, and chemical irritants. And I just wish I could. I've been searching. I've so many TIs have said they were gassed, and I've been searching to find out, what they could be using and stuff, and come up short every time,
That's the worst part because the gases cannot be really detected as they can be seen. And it's also, there is no such thing like can,
Like we
which
know
is
it's
capable.
happening, but to find out what they're using, is it scopolamine? Is it what are they using? I'm interested in figuring it out.
Mhm. I don't think there are any gas detectors which could. Are there any in the market which are capable of detecting?
If there are, I'm not aware of it.
Yeah, as far as I've seen nothing like efficient gas detector.
Let me try some irritant. That's a good chemical irritant detector. It says LCD4, including X, a rugged and reliable chemical warfare agent identifier, TIC detector. The LCD has been in continuous production over 25 years. Um, and it's an advanced warning device that alarms to gas and vapor threats detected and identified at or below immediately dangerous life and health levels by determining the agent, type, class, concentration, and doses of chemical exposure. It can also be used as a screening and survey device. It's called the LCD4.
LCD4. Okay.
It operates in I don't know, that's what came up when I searched it. I don't know if that's an accurate it says compact wearable chemical detector. Hmm. The else just put I would just put if you're going to look it up, put LCD4 chemical irritant detector because
Mhm.
that's what I looked up, a chemical irritant detector. But there is something now. Amy Holm posted it. Let me show you what. Let me go to Amy Holm. Okay, she posted this thing. Now I don't have the money to afford it. Uh,
Yeah, these are a bit expensive, but
it's a
glad that
pocket
we have.
alarm, and it was on
Yeah,
Channel 6 News. You know about it?
I'm looking it up as we speak.
No, this is a pocket alarm that detects and records RF microwave direct energy weapons and nuclear events in terrestrial gamma burst. It's a warning and recording device for radio frequency, microwave dew, and gamma and TGF hazards. So you carry it around in your pocket, and if you're being hit with any kind of energy weapon or something like that, it detects it and records what's going on. Now I've not researched this. I just seen the post, and I looked at how much it cost, $595. It probably cost about $60 to make, and they're charging for it. But that was on News Channel 6. And she posted that. I might do a video and just read what it says its capabilities are. But $595 is steep.
Yeah, and the covers. I don't even have a word. How do I explain? But they step down the game whenever like having something or gather evidence. They step down the game. They only attack when we are at the weakest, having nothing to show or gather evidence.
Right. And they're probably using some irritant that might not even be detectable.
Yeah, yeah. These are all classified. And
Yeah, that's why it's, you know, I got a radiation detector, but it detects like straight up radiation, it's not for electromagnetic radiation. It's like straight up radiation. Uh, and
I've
then,
seen it. Please go ahead.
and, you know, these devices and stuff, I'm just convinced that they figured out ways to get around all that.
I've seen a recent video of Len Bear. He was saying the only reason the source of the frequency is not found is because they are coming from multiple sources,
Right.
like like multiple systems or even emitters, which are really. It's a very informative video made by Len Bear. Um, it's actually like backing up the technology, but we don't have a concrete evidence yet. But it's a very good watch, especially if you're trying to understand how is it happening and maybe build your defense mechanism around it.
Right. Well, do you have anything else you want to share with us?
No, David, I
You
thought
got any
this.
message you'd like to tell any other TIs going through this that may be having a hard time?
Um, yes, exactly. I always have the message for us. Um, we are all in it together. Um, United we stand and divided we fall. We know there are a lot of mental tactics and cheap games played amongst TIs just because that could let them hide and slip away with the crime. But we're all answerable to one supreme power in the end, and the same supreme power, consciously or subconsciously, would walk us through this horrific program ever witnessed by the humanity. Or this thing is far worse than World Wars One and Two if it is brought to light, and I hope it is exposed soon. And we're all fighting our battles. Um, let's together work and do anything that could bring an end to this program. That means educating people. I know we will be um, gaslit and slandered and even called crazy, but we're all God's warriors, and God bless all. He's always with us.
Thank you, Ash, and I hope you'll keep in contact with me. And I'm glad that you figured out that about spontaneity because, like I said, I've been using that for years, and it does work. And I'm glad that you're able to keep your anger under control because I know they do press buttons, and it's hard sometimes. And I admire your strength to keep your emotional state in check when they're trying to do that, especially when they're boxing you in and making you nervous and hitting you with the weapons and all that. Because, some people it's harder than others. So I admire your strength also to have to suffer and live in a house with people you don't trust. I think you're a very strong person, and I hope you continue to stay strong and be proactive in fighting this and not give up.
Thank you very much, David. And I should thank you a lot. I don't know how much. And the work you are doing and your videos, um, it literally is a lot. I mean, there's a lot of good thing you're doing. And I hope God bless you soon with anything and everything you wanted in life.
Well, thank you. I'm going to stop recording, and I thank you again, and hope we talk again soon. And we'll say our goodbyes when I stop the recording.